Welcome, Watchers of Illusion, to my Castle of Confusion. It's the 22nd of February, and I'm looking at Spider-Man on the arcade. Now, I've not played this one before, so this is a first. But I thought, having a look through some superhero games, I thought, oh, let's have a go at this. The web crawler doesn't get enough recognition, I don't think. Well, let's see. So it's basically split into chapters, kind of like a comic book. I kind of like that already. That's kind of nice. Oh, nice big sprites on the screen. So, side-scrolling beat-em-up. Let's see what this has to offer, because obviously with things like Final Fight and other such side-scrollers, let's see if this one brings anything new to the table, because if it doesn't, it's going to be a bit disappointing. However, the one thing that I can see immediately flashing away at the bottom of the screen, push button, and push button, which means this is a 4-player simultaneous cooperative beat-em-up. So that's obviously going to raise the score just on that, because what's better than mashing enemies in the face? Having 4 of you mashing enemies in the face. Yes. So here we are with these rather odd-looking fellows. I think they're called putties or something like that. I'm not sure. Or was that Power Rangers? Yeah, I think that might have been Power Rangers. What a great start. Never mind. Anyway, so this is bringing the web slinger to the arcade beat-em-up platform, which so far is actually not too bad. There doesn't seem to be any sort of special moves though. You've only got your punch there, and you've got your jump, and you can sort of you can kind of pull off a swing as well if you do it at the crescent of your jump, and then you push your attack button. Then you can do some sort of like web sling, which is completely. It just seems to be completely random when it wants to work though. That's the only thing. But here we have Scorpion, and now we have Venom just jumping into the fray. So that's quite nice. So at least they're recognisable as Marvel characters, which is really nice. I do like the size of the sprites. Maybe a touch too big here, because you've got 2 rather large boss characters as well, especially Venom. He's massive. But yeah, you've got not really much space to move around. That's probably a criticism I would give this already. But it's nice, big, bright, comic booky type style of presentation, which is very, very nice. I mean, look at Venom here. Absolutely fantastic. Spider-Man looks a little bit tired, doesn't he? The way he walks, it just looks like he's absolutely knackered and can't be bothered. So I'm just having a bit of a bad day here. I'm just going to slope off over this way. So yeah, you just get that impression that Spidey's not really too into it. He just look at him, just can't be bothered. He's Spider-Man does whatever a pensioner can. So there you go. So it's Spider. So now the perspective has changed a little. This is interesting. So now we can actually use our web to attack with. Now it's changed. Yeah, it's instead of being a beat 'em up part now, then you've got this kind of ranged attack which you can use now, and it's pulled back a bit. You lose a bit of detail while it's like this, but it brings a new aspect to the game, I suppose. That's another way to look at this. It's very, very cool though. And there's Submariner up there, by the way, which is another playable character. You have actual 4 characters to choose from. You can have Spider-Man, obviously chosen here, Hawkeye, Black Cat, and Submariner. And I would like to show you at least 2 or 3 of those. If I can, I will show you all of them. And I've just been pummeled to death by Venom. So let's try Black Cat. So here we are. So she's got a grappling hook, as you're probably aware if you're a comic book fan, you will already understand that she does have a grapple hook. So now we have to go up the levels to meet Venom at various stages, I think, and beat the holy hell out of him, basically. And it looks like we're going to have to go up again to meet him for a 3rd time. Now, I quite like this in a way, that there's not many beat-em-ups that will change perspective halfway through and give you this sort of unique pull-back perspective, so you can actually see all of the screen. But you do lose a little bit of detail on the character, like I say. But we can forgive that. But this is quite nice. I wouldn't say the game's brilliant. It doesn't really add anything that we haven't seen before. I'd say that Final Fight still is like the definitive beat-em-up when it comes to games like this. There just isn't anything exciting in this game. It's just pummel these guys with a punch and a kick, and that's really about it. I know you could say the same with Final Fight, but Final Fight just has an edge. I'm not really sure. This just doesn't flow quite as smoothly, and I think because the playing field is really restricted, that really kind of takes something away from the game, personally. I just feel you're a bit cramped and you haven't got much space to manoeuvre or get away, if you get surrounded. That's kind of an issue, really, for me anyway. I mean, it might not bother you guys, but for me, I like to have a little bit of manoeuvrability on the screen, and you kind of lose that through this. And look at these guys. Alright then, I will attack you with my rubber gloves. Okay. So they obviously want to go and do some washing up. Or something. But yeah, so now we're getting a variety of different mobs. These guys are strange looking. Never seen anyone come and fight like that before. But never mind. So you're going to mix it up now with these fellas. And the guys with the washing up gloves on as well. So we've got quite a lot going on screen at one time. So now these guys have got different attacks. So these guys do sweeps. So you've got to do really well against these. But I like the fact you can grab as well, a kind of a time-honoured tradition of side-scrolling beat-em-ups where you can actually grab hold of them and throw them across the screen. And they do actually hit each other as well, which is great fun. So that's kind of nice as well. But again, it's nothing new. I mean, if you think of Batman Returns on the SNES, where you could grab two people and crunch their heads together, that kind of thing was really unique. And how many of you were waiting for Hawkeye in the Avengers movies to don this gear? I think it was so cool just to see the classic Hawkeye. Now this is weird because Hawkeye obviously is a bow user. You see the quiver of arrows on his back, but you can't use them. I think that's a little bit odd. So unless you can actually use them on the pullback scale, I'm not really sure. But oh well, never mind. So we're going to punch and kick our way again. You see, this is kind of a lost opportunity with Hawkeye. You could have had him as a ranged sort of, as an archer, which is what he should be really. And they've kind of missed that opportunity with him. So that's a bit odd in my book. And that's quite cool. You've got Eddie Brock now in his pants. Lovely. But yes, Venom has been defeated. So that's quite nice. Spider-Man splash screen. And he wants to go and play bingo, apparently. So there you go. But I like these cutscenes. They're quite nice. Sort of set up the next stage and get a bit of voiceover as well, which is all right. The music's nothing really to be writing home about either. That's kind of a letdown. But the characters are recognisable for what they are, so I'm going to give that a plus point. The levels really aren't that imaginative. It's just kind of there's just something that doesn't feel quite as polished as we're used to with these sort of games. And for a Marvel license, I think this is kind of one of those missed opportunities, and it's a great shame. A great shame. I mean, Batman on the Nintendo Entertainment System was absolutely fabulous. So, I mean, to sort of take that into context, I mean, yeah, the sprites are nice. They're coloured well. They're pretty well animated, I guess. The actual look of them is fantastic. Look at the big guy up there. I mean, just the detail's nice on the characters, but the stages are a bit bland. I think that's kind of a shame, and the sound effects are kind of wishy-washy at best. You get those guys whooping when they die, which is strange. You'd think that was their sort of victory cry, but it's not. No. You get these speech bubbles come up every now and again. Would have been nice to have a voiceover on there, but again, they've not done that, which is a shame because I think that would have added quite a lot to it. But if you're looking for a cartoon comic book beat 'em up, this does tick those boxes. It just doesn't tick many of the others, which is a real shame. There's no innovation here. There's nothing we haven't seen before. It's a great shame, and I think that this game could have been so much better with just a little bit more attention to detail and a slightly bigger playing field as well. I think that would have benefited this a lot. And really, I know it's kind of minor gripes, but sometimes minor gripes really do make a big difference to the way that you enjoy a game. And for me, these are my sticky points. So I'm afraid this one's not going to be a high scorer, but it's not going in the rubbish bin either. So there you go. Anyway, guys, I'll leave that for now. Thanks very much for tuning in. Remember to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy my content. There'll be more coming on Friday. So I shall see you then. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.